I'm specifically wanting to point at right here is that what the weak ego is looking for is energy, which translates to power, right? And also, since we know that reality is purely positive, we therefore also know that these negative qualities of the weak ego are distortions of that positivity. So even our most base and what we might even think of as vile faults and undeveloped qualities, or however we're going to frame it, those are distortions of positive qualities. It's the ground. That's the ground, that reality is purely positive. So anything that's negative is dependent upon that positivity and is traceable back to that positivity. So it's another way that we can learn to not kill the ego, not try to cut it out or push it away, but to be with it in a way that allows for those thought forms that inspire the negative creation to be revealed in a crystallized way that we can gauge their positivity and or negativity. And that's what we're doing. So the task begins with receiving our higher self qualities. And the greater awareness and embodiment of those qualities is going to teach us directly how our faults relate and our distortions of those higher qualities. So it's no longer this dualistic frame where we're thinking of positive is equal to negative, because that's false. Negative and positive are not equally balanced. The negative is dependent upon the positive. That's a very different way of approaching our life experience. So, reality is purely positive. So, negativity gets its power from positivity. That's where the negative pleasure comes in, for example. It must be there. Life is purely positive. There will be pleasure. There will be pleasure. No matter how much we distort, there will be pleasure. And that pleasure is sometimes, maybe that's not the right word, because it could make us think that, we're super masochistic or sadistic or whatever. Maybe we could reframe that word to say that we find some power in our negativity, because that's the reality. The negativity is dependent upon the positivity for its power. It has no reality of its own. It's not reality. It's a distortion of the reality. That's like a whoa, blow your mind open kind of realization. Especially when we learn to direct that understanding towards ourselves. And that's what it means to become the real self.